Hello everybody, my name is Charlie and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who YouTube video. So, I'm aware this is a bit of a weird sort of time to publish a video. Usually my videos are on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays, and I was planning to do this video on Sunday. However, I did get a bit sidetracked yesterday, so for a bit of context, it's 7:40 PM on Monday the 23rd of November 2020, and basically in 20 minutes time then the trailer for the Christmas special 2020 Revolution of the Daleks is about to be released at 8 PM after the Timeless Children watch-along. I have just been watching and then I thought, tell you what, I need to do a video on Doctor Who Day. This is the first Doctor Who Day my channel has got to, so, congratulations, if you've been watching since towards the start of my channel, and yeah, so this is just going to be a fun review of Remembrance of the Daleks, and I thought I'd do this story in particular because it's very heavily ties in with the origins of Doctor Who. It's set in November 1963, and I'm pretty sure it actually covers today, 23rd of November, so I thought that I'd just do a review on it, share my opinions on it, and just have it be quite a fun video for Doctor Who Day. Tomorrow I am going to do a surprise video about my thoughts on the Revolution of the Daleks trailer, permitting that it is actually released at 8 o'clock. I am getting quite worried. It's now 1941, so, well, 7:41 PM, so who knows. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this video, and I hope you enjoy. So, Remembrance of the Daleks. This is a pretty straightforward story. It's in season 25 and was broadcast in the year 1988. Now, this is a 7th Doctor and Ace story, so this was at the point where Doctor Who wasn't overly popular, however still had a bunch of great content. They were really picking it up, especially in season 25. We had the absolutely abysmal season 24, but this is where it picks it up. This Silver Nemesis, another story from this series, was originally was kind of the 25th anniversary of Doctor Who. I think it should have been this. This is so much more epic, and it does sort of follow the origins, and yeah, so the plot of this is essentially, it's set in 1963 London and ties in heavily with an unearthly child. Obviously we never actually see any of the original gang, but lots of it is set in Coal Hill School as well. Now there are two Dalek factions, and the Imperials and the Renegades, and they're both sort of after this same device of great power called the Hand of Omega. They believe that if they use it, they'll be able to time travel. However, these two factions of Daleks have been in conflict for millennia, and basically there's going to be an all-out war between them, and the Doctor and his friends are caught in the crossfire. Now the Daleks essentially mind control and manipulate people into doing their bidding, including this girl from Coal Hill School who turns out to be controlled by this renegade Dalek, and essentially, yeah, they're both fighting for the Hand of Omega without realising that the Doctor wants them to have it, so that, well, it's basically just a trick. And yes, it ends with both Dalek factions dying, but however Davros actually escapes, who's working with the Imperial Daleks. However, the rest completely die, and everyone kind of loses except for the Doctor and his friends as usual. So, the blurb of the DVD of this, I've got the special edition, says, London, 1963, and the Doctor returns to Coal Hill School with his new companion Ace, where he has unfinished business. His oldest foes, the Daleks, are on the trail of Time Lord technology, an artifact the Doctor himself left behind on Earth. Enlisting the assistance of the local military, the Doctor must protect the Gallifreyan secret of time travel, as two opposing Dalek factions meet in an explosive confrontation, with the fate of the entire universe at stake. So yes, it's quite a sort of high-stakes story, and I really like it, honestly. My overall opinion is, it's a generally all-round brilliant story. It is so good. And yes, I really love this story. So, let's talk about the actual episodes themselves. So, it maintains a fairly consistent quality across the story. It doesn't really falter. Well, actually, it does a little bit of one of the episodes. I'll get to that. And it has noticeably significantly, less quality than the others. However, it doesn't really drag down the entire story, and it's still pretty good. So yeah, this has 4 episodes. Most of the episodes of this era, however, 4 or 3 episodes each, and 4 is very good for this story, I think. 3 would have been very rushed, and, well, any more, they didn't really do 6-parters or 5-parters by then. Episode 1 is definitely my favourite. It's a perfect introduction. It sets the stage so well. Episode 2 is almost as good. It, incorporates a lot more plot elements, including actually seeing the Hand of Omega, and it sort of increases the suspense quite a bit, as well as introducing us to some more of the Daleks. Episode 3 is slightly anticlimactic, and this is my least favourite. I feel like it does drag a little bit here, which is why I wish it was 3 30-minute episodes instead of 4 25-minute episodes. That would have worked, actually. And episode 4 is amazing. It's an explosive finale, and yeah, it's pretty good. The plot doesn't really meander as well. It stays fairly rooted in what it's doing, unlike lots of other stories in the 70s, which kind of went on a bit of a tangent, if you know what I mean. Across like 5 parts, you have something completely different. And looking at you, Doctor Who and the Silurians. So yes, lots of them were like that. But this one, stays fairly rooted. So let's talk about the characters now. I don't really do many of these character sections on my reviews, but I thought I would because I'm being introduced to 2 new major characters in this one story. So, bit of context, this is the first ever 1980s Doctor Who story I've watched, and it's my first ever JNT story I've ever watched, my first ever 7th Doctor story, my first ever Ace story, it's my first ever Classic Who Dalek story. It's all very new to me, so yes, the 7th Doctor, he's very, very well introduced. He's already my second favourite Doctor just because of this story. He's honestly incredible. He's everything the Doctor needs to be. He's cunning and strategic and quite dark, but at the same time he's whimsical and funny and just a little bit odd, and I really like that. But yeah, you definitely see some of his darker side in here. He's like a chess master. He's putting all the pieces in place. He has plans within plans he's not telling anybody, and that works really, really well, honestly. Yeah, the 7th Doctor is amazing. I did not expect him to be this good at all. And we've also got Ace, his companion, who loads of people love, played by Sophie Aldred. She's a very good actress, don't get me wrong, but I really don't like the character of Ace. I'm not going to lie, I don't like her. I think she's very annoying and whiny in this story. I don't know if this is because it's her first proper story as companion. She previously appeared in Dragonfire when Mel left. I hope she does get a bit of character development. I've got the DVD of Survival and The Curse of Fenric on my DVD shelf in my bedroom, so I'm going to get around to watch those at some point. I'll probably do some reviews of those in the new year. But yeah, I don't really like the character of Ace, to be honest. Not a great introduction for me. And we've also got this other army guy, just kind of a standard sergeant person. He seems to like Ace a little bit, and yeah, he has this weird sort of side plot where he becomes a traitor for the Daleks, but he, keeps on asking for forgiveness, and then he dies at the hands of a Dalek, and it's quite strange, actually, and I don't really get it. He's quite well written, but the twist was unexpected, but it was just a bit weird, and a plot element we didn't really need. That's one of my only complaints about the story, don't get me wrong, I love it. Now let's talk about the villains. Surprisingly enough, the villains of this are the Daleks. They make a very, lots of the Dalek stories aren't that great. We had Resurrection of the Daleks, which I heard isn't the best story with the 5th Doctor. We have Revelation of the Daleks with the 6th Doctor, again, not a brilliant story. I've heard pretty bad things about Destiny of the Daleks as well, and the same goes for the 3rd Doctor Dalek stories. The only good 70s or 80s Dalek story I've heard about besides this is Genesis of the Daleks, which I don't really like, to be honest. But this is amazing. It made the Daleks scary again. Lots of the Daleks seem quite underwhelming, especially with the voices. They weren't that great. But they made the Daleks scary and menacing again. I can see children watching this at home when it was the first broadcast being generally quite scared. I wasn't, because, I've seen more advanced versions of the Daleks in New Who, and it's kind of quite underwhelming, but I knew what to expect. And it's not a repeat of other Dalek stories. This has some really new and interesting concepts, including the Hand of Omega, and other types of Daleks, such as the Special Weapons Dalek, who, by the way, is amazing. And we also have that weird, other sort of Imperial Dalek with the sort of ball-shaped thing on his head, and in the last episode we get to be revealed that it's Davros, the creator of the Daleks, which I really didn't expect. And yeah, that Davros twist was very unexpected, and we've also got that girl that's being controlled by a renegade Dalek, and that's quite creepy as well, especially with that tune. I can't remember what it was, but whenever it showed her, it kept on playing this tune, and that's, the whole plot point of that isn't quite consolidated until the final episode. But yeah, the Daleks in this are generally really good. I think they're very powerful in this, and the battle scenes between them are incredible. Honestly, it's so good. And the special weapons Dalek is amazing, and probably my favourite design of Dalek ever. It's really good. Now let's talk about 5 good things about the story. I usually do 5 good things and 3 improvements to make, and yes, I'm doing this again. So, good thing number 1. It has very interesting concepts. The Hand of Omega that the first Doctor left behind in 1963, that's a very, innovative idea. I quite like it. The 7th Doctor, very well introduced. He's an amazing character, very strategic and cunning, but at the same time being funny and whimsical. Number 3. The battle scenes are awesome. They are so explosive and action-packed, and I did not expect this from an 80s story. Number 4, brilliant soundtrack. It's fun and exciting, and it just shows the true scale of this story. And finally, number 5, the plot twists. They keep the story moving and they keep it interesting and adding new ideas to it, while at the same time not meandering away from the roots of it. I like that. And it's very hard for a story to pull off, even the good ones. And finally, for the improvements. So, I call it improvements, not bad things, because they don't make the story bad. It's just things that could have bumped up the percentage of this story slightly. Improvement number 1. Ace is a very annoying and whiny character. I really hope she gets some development, because she seems like she has so much potential, but right now, I don't really like her. And number 2, there's a slight lull in episode 3 with quite a lot of filler content. And number 3, I had lots of unnecessary CGI. This was where Doctor Who was dipping its toes into CGI. It should have stayed in the standard rudimentary effects. They don't look brilliant, but CGI just looks really bad, especially this very sort of crude form of CGI that the BBC were using back in the 1980s and 90s, and it doesn't look too great, to be honest. Finally, in conclusion, this gets as much love as it's deserved. It's not underrated, it's not overrated. It's loved very highly, and I agree with that. I think it's incredible. I've given this a 97%. It's fun, it's action-packed, and it's interesting. There are a few things that prevent that 100%. There always are. So yeah, this is my favourite story so far, except from Inferno, which got a 98, and Ambassadors of Death, which got a 99. But this is third, top 3. And very good introduction to 80s Doctor Who. I really liked this. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. It's currently 7:52 PM and the trailer is released in 8 minutes. Tomorrow then I'm going to do a video probably around 5 or 6 o'clock about my my first thoughts. Well, not first thoughts, I suppose. I would have had a day, but yes, basically it's going to be about that. I hope you've enjoyed this review, everybody. Feel free to share your thoughts on the trailer when it's released for the Revolution of the Daleks, and well, it's quite funny, Revolution of the Daleks, Remembrance of the Daleks, they sound similar. But yeah, share your thoughts on this story and of the trailer of Revolution of the Daleks. And yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment on this video, subscribe to the channel and like this video. And yes, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.